Good morning, Dr. Mark here with Davidson Chiropractic. Hope you're doing well. I wanted to describe a certain condition with you, and you can let me know if this resonates with you. In the morning, when you get up out of bed, you feel pretty good. Upon standing, when you stand any length of time, you start to feel some either localized low back pain. You may start to feel some buttock pain. And the more you try to walk, for example, if you went to try to walk to your mailbox, or you were walking in the mall, doing some shopping, you start feeling either heaviness in the legs. It could be one leg, it could be both legs. And as soon as you sit down, if I sit for any length of time like this, you notice that back pain goes away, the heaviness in your thighs and calves goes away, and then you get back up, you're doing okay, you start walking again for maybe, you notice 5 minutes, or people will say to me, I walk for about 1,000 feet, and the pain comes back in my low back or my legs. Immediately what they'll do is either sit down again, or they may, if they're shopping in the grocery store, they may lean on the cart as they're pushing the cart, and that tends to relieve their back pain. This is a condition that we call spinal stenosis. With spinal stenosis, if you want to take a look over here, this is the back of the spine. In the center here, if you can see the yellow, that's the spinal cord. And over time, due to the arthritic process, there's some bones that can grow, there's some ligaments that can thicken, the disc can actually start to shrink and therefore compress the center of the spine, which would give you more of the symptoms down both legs, or it can compress either one side, the left side or the right side, and that would then give you more symptoms on one side or the other. So what happens is, if you can imagine this, the more I stand, so this is looking at you from the side, this is your back side, this is your front side. As I stand, the arch in my spine increases. And if I have any type of bone growth or thickening of the ligaments, that actually takes up more room in the spinal cord or around the spinal nerves. Now, as I sit, like here, as I sit down, that actually, again, this is the back side, this is your belly side, that actually flexes the spine, and if you can see, opens up the spinal cord, so a person with spinal stenosis will get relief. What's most likely happened over the years too are these bones have basically changed shape. So as you are walking, again, this is back side, this is front side. As you're walking and you're standing with that increased arch in your spine, the spine is shifting forward. And again, you can see the spinal cord here. As it shifts forward, it pulls on the spinal cord, and that's a result of the bones actually changing shape due to the arthritic process. So some things that you might do that may give you some relief is if you lay on your back at night with a pillow underneath your knees, that's going to actually, now you're laying on your back here, back side, belly side, it's going to actually flex the spine and open up the spinal cord, versus if you don't have a pillow, your spine is going to tend to arch more, okay? Patients also find relief by laying on their side. So if they're laying on their side with their legs tucked up in that kind of that fetal position, that's going to flex the spine, open up the spine, and give you some relief to get comfortable to be able to sleep. Some other things you might do are some gentle stretches, such as maybe a forward fold while you're sitting in a chair. You might forward fold, again, opening up that spinal cord, trying to make some room in there. They may be short-lived, temporary relief. It may provide some long-term relief. I'm not sure how long you've been suffering, but these are things that you may be able to do to give yourself a little relief. Another thing might be to stretch the hip muscles, because in the back of the buttock area, there's a nerve called the sciatic nerve that comes off the spinal cord. So if we stretch this muscle and forward fold, right, we're stretching the spinal cord out, but we're also stretching that muscle, which may give you some slack to the system. It's almost like if I try to put a bunch of wires through this wall, fish a wire through, and I needed a little slack, that might give me a little extra slack to provide some relief. Most likely you also got a stability problem, meaning those bones are slipping because of that arthritic change. The bones have changed shape, so as that bone slides forward, it's pulling the spinal cord. Now, we can't change the shape of the bones now. That process has already happened and started, but what we can do is do some what we call corrective exercise things to the muscles around the spine to help support the spine so that when you are standing up, your muscles now are acting as the restraint to keep that bone from sliding forward versus the actual bone itself. So if we can get some strength back, use the proper muscles, then potentially we can alleviate the symptoms and get you back doing the things you enjoy on a daily basis. One other solution we could do is we can do some things called flexion distraction. That's using a table in another room where we can gently open up the spine. And if we find that we need a little bit more strength or more force in a very difficult case, we can use something called non-surgical spinal decompression, where basically we can have a patient lie on their back with this pillow underneath their knees so that it provides them in a good, comfortable position while providing a force that basically, if you can see here, separates those vertebrae intermittently to open up that space. If we can gain even millimeters or nanometers at times, it's enough to provide relief. And then with the proper corrective exercise program and home exercise program to follow, we can hopefully get you back doing again the things that you enjoy, whether it be playing with your kids, enjoying your grandkids, exercising, running. So, and that's a good point. What I would advise against at this point is definitely not, if you're having these types of symptoms, is not doing any type of running because you're in that upright position, again, extended position. You're going to be causing more compression. Maybe right now you might want to be able to do some stationary bike or cycling because you're going to be in more that seated flex position. So now I can get a workout in, but I'm not going to aggravate my underlying condition. Swimming may be difficult because as you're swimming, you are extended backwards and you don't have the same support in the water. It is going to cause a little bit more of a bend in that case. So keep these things in mind. These are just meant to be some tools, some tips, some tricks that you might be able to use to help give yourself some relief. But if the things I mentioned are making things don't feel right, they're making your symptoms worse, please stop. Call us up at Davidson Chiropractic. Go to our website, www.davidsonchiro.com. Look for some free information on there. Don't be shy. Reach out to us. We will help you any way we can. And we look forward to hearing from you. And if you have other questions, please comment and reach out to us. Have a great day, everybody.